Hey, this is Father James Miska. We're back with you with Coffee with the Callers. I'm joined by one of our parochial vicars,
Father Doug Jeffers.
Father Doug, happy Christmas. We
happy
continue in the
Christmas
Christmas season, right?
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So I hope you've had a great Christmas so far. And as we join you this morning, we want to talk a little bit about the upcoming Solemnity of the Epiphany.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one of the most, of course, famous holidays that we have in the Catholic Church.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the great Christmas carol, We Three Kings.
All right.
And what nativity scene doesn't have three kings in it, right?
That's right.
So as we prepare for this, Father Doug and I thought we'd share a few insights as to what we think are the most important aspects of this feast of the Epiphany. So first of all, Padre, where does the word Epiphany come from? Do you remember from your theological studies at the seminary?
Yeah, the Epiphany is a Greek word that means an appearing, a manifestation. This is something that that was sort of hidden before suddenly becomes something you can see. So like sometimes in normal conversation we might say, I had an epiphany. Meaning
sure.
I suddenly realized something that was right there, but I hadn't seen it before. And so, of course, this Epiphany, the Feast of the Epiphany, we're talking about the manifestation of Christ, about who he is. He came into the world at Christmas, and this is a feast of his appearing to the world.
Cool. Yeah, so as I'm preparing for my homily, I like to think about those kings. And obviously that's the major theme of this weekend, that these kings come from far off lands. It doesn't necessarily say where they came from, by the way. It just says kings from the east came. And to visit this baby Jesus, this king, this newborn king. And so what I think is most interesting is that they were just being themselves. First of all, they were astronomers. They were studying the stars. And then second of all, they were kings. And so what did they do? Well, they continued to study the stars. They came to where the star rested over Bethlehem. And what did they bring with them? Things that kings would normally have: gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And so what I always think about myself when we think about these kings bringing kingly things, it was natural for them. It would have been weird for them if they would have brought like, a container of hummus or something like that. That would have been bizarre. They brought what they were known for, and that is the gold, the frankincense, and myrrh. And so for us, I always tell people, maybe on this Epiphany, you ought to just bring the Lord the things that you're known for. What are you known for? Hey, it might have to do with your job that you have. It might have to do with some of your hobbies. It might have to do with just your own spirit and your own, sort of personality. So maybe the most authentic thing that anyone can do on Epiphany is just come to church that day and to bring themselves and to be completely generous with themselves to God, no different than the kings were. So that's probably what I'll be concentrating on in my homily this weekend, is this idea of just bring him what you have. Bring him what you are. And that will make him the happiest.
Yeah. One of the things I think about with the feast is, if you had the chance to be there to see the Christ child, you could have seen him there. He came into our world visibly, but just by looking at him, you can't see that he's God. It's a secret, so to speak. But it's a secret that's manifested to us in various ways, and so. One of those is the fact that that he received these visitors from the east who came and testified to his kingship. And this feast also kind of is associated with his baptism in the Jordan, when the Father's voice said from heaven, "This is my beloved Son," and with his first miracle, where he showed his power by changing water into wine at Cana. And so one of the things I think about this feast is really, it should be an occasion for great gratitude to God that he has made the mystery of his own Godhead manifest to us, that he's given us an epiphany so that we can understand and see.
That's a great point. So hopefully this week when you come to Mass, you'll think about these things, this idea that you just bring what you have. You bring who you are, just like the kings did when they came from the east. And that when you arrive to see the baby Jesus, you are here to see that which was mystery, that which continues to be mystery, but is manifested in the flesh as a little baby. When you do so, I want to encourage you to go into the chapel at St. Louis, see our beautiful nativity scene, and that could be your place of devotion for this weekend on this Feast of the Epiphany. So once again, thanks for joining us on Coffee with the Callers. Father Doug, any parting words today?
Just as we finish out the Christmas season, we finish out this time of celebrating God becoming visible and stepping into our world. all of us at St. Louis, we want to wish all of you a Merry Christmas.